Well, hello again, and here we are doing some more work on the Ducati. I've had a number of requests from people who have this dry clutch kit for additional information, so we're going to do a teardown of that, considering that it's ready for its, I think it's done about 20 track days since the last inspection, so it's a good time. And as you can see, we're also going to put in a new battery. I already put on my new, well, it's not a quick turn throttle, it's just apparently has a throttle with better resolution. So that was too simple really to do a video on. It was just two screws underneath and then unscrew or unplug this socket right here. Not really worth doing a video on. Alright, let's take a look at this clutch, but before we do that, I just swapped out these brake pads. This is the first time they needed to be replaced since I bought the bike. Wow, it's been 2 years. I also swapped out these fasteners. These are genuine Zeus fasteners in exchange for the crappy Amazon fake Chinese Zeus fasteners that I got. And yes, they are so much better. I have to thank Curvy Girl. That's it. Curvy Girl is where I got those. I bought a bunch of different accessories from her over the years. And these are shortly going to be in need of replacing. Let's see, so the new track season starts soon. So we're back at Eagles Canyon again. And we'll also be doing some events with a different group at Crescent. And again, I'm hoping to do at least one day a month at the Kart Moto track in Crescent. On that, I spent a lot of time and money putting those dirt wheels on that Husky FS 450, and I've only used it twice in the off season. And even then, that's only because I just happen to have a grass track in my backyard. But hopefully throughout the year, whenever it's not exceedingly hot, I'll be able to quickly put those wheels back on and take it out to the dirt. Okay, so that's the spider actuator removed. You know what? I need to keep that surface clean. I was doing a lot of welding recently, and actually, where is that thing? Yeah. Teaching a friend how to do some TIG welding. So he built a really nice press. I think that was his second ever weld. Anyway, so yeah, grinding and cutting can make a lot of mess, and we don't want that when we're putting relatively clean parts down. Okay, so next one, no, we need this 1 3/16 of an inch, whatever that is. Ooh, that was lucky. This battery's almost flat. Okay, so we've got, let's do this. So for all the people who've requested a teardown of this dry clutch, here we go. So That failed to undo this a while ago, so I've been gradually spraying it with penetrating fluid, like a day here, a day there. Spray it again, spray it again. So I wasn't even sure if that would open it this time, especially considering it's almost flat battery. But anyway, yeah, it's been carefully lubricated. I had a few friends say, I just mentioned it, yeah, I can't get that nut off. Oh, just heat it. Nah, that's not going to work, not with that rubber seal right there. Okay, so we've got the nut. Then we've got this bearing. Nice, relatively clean. Then we've got this doohickey. Again, relatively clean. Okay, then this piece comes off. I may have to repaint it just to highlight the operation of the dry clutch when it's spinning in reverse. Alrighty. So this is pretty simple. The operation of a dry clutch is not complex. Okay, we will try to keep it separate. So then this came off. That penetrating fluid got in nicely. I guess that's what it's supposed to do. And that will burn off very quickly after the clutch is started. Okay, the operation, this actual diaphragm spring I think they call this. Alright, so then we've got, where is it? So we do need to measure each of these plates, and you can see there's a little bit of fiber dust. Okay, so there's a little bit of wear, very minor, not even worth cleaning off. Alright, so we may need a little screwdriver for this. And I think the last time I did this and videotaped it or video recorded it, I mentioned the importance of checking each plate, each fiber plate as well. Because it's, as bizarre as it may sound, it's possible to have a bald spot. Okay, so we've got some very minor wear, but that's what's expected. Still looking fine. Actually, why don't I do that? I pulled this out for this purpose. Okay, zeroed. 2 millimeters. Okay, so you can see the wear, but it's just not measurable. 2 millimeters. 1.9897. Okay, so that's basically negligible. 2.4, 2.4, 2.4. Yeah, no wear on that. 1.44, 4, 4, 4, wow. Yep, nowhere on that one either. Now, and always, again, I don't know that it's necessarily a big factor, but I always like to put these stamped plates in the same orientation. So there's a rounded surface here and there's a flat surface here. So I always put them in like that with a rounded surface out. Again, I don't know for certain that it has an effect, but it's just a habit I've developed. 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, and 4, 3, okay. So, if we continue at that rate, we will be good to go. Yeah, sharp side, rounded side. 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 4. 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 2. Certainly close enough to be considered just fine. Oh yes, and you can see that's, I put that reference mark there to line up the grooves. Again, debatable if it's necessary. 1, 4, 5, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. And I do need to start thinking about a valve clearance check on this thing. I must admit I'm feeling excited about the challenge. 2, 4, 3, 4, 4. 2, 4, 3. 2, 4, 2, 4, 4. 4, 3, 4, 1. Okay. So we can see there is some modulation in the wear. It's a little worse, a little better. But overall it's pretty even. One, 4, 5, 1, 4, 6, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, the 32 clearance adjustments is going to be fun. Because of course, for anyone not aware, this is a Desmo engine, and Desmo means one rocker opens the valve, so it pushes down on it, and another rocker lifts it up for one. A little more variation. So each one of those rockers needs to be adjusted, and in a 16 valve engine that means 32 rockers. My first Desmo valve clearance adjustment was on a Monster, and that was of course an 8 valve engine, so I only had 16 clearances to check. 43, 44, 43, 44. And then I did hang on, no, it didn't have. That's a 2 valve engine, so it only had 4 valves, so it was 8 clearances to check. And then it was the 996 that I had briefly. So it had a 4 valve motor. So that's 8 valves and 16 clearances to check. And then this one, 4 valve motor, 4 pistons. So that's 8 on the front, 8 on the back, 16 total, 16 openers, 16 closers, 32 adjustments to make, or to check. 44. And yeah, a little more variation the further down we go, but it's still definitely within tolerances. And yes, this thing did get wet once. Driving home from the track once, it was in the back of my trailer and it was raining. The day got cancelled because it was raining, and this actually did get wet. It's been rained on one time. 43, 43, and you can see from the rust on these clutch plates, not that it's a problem, just a little bit of rust, no biggie. They are consumable. Okay. Come on, you can do it. $45, $43, $44, $41. Yeah, interesting. There is more variation further down we go, and you can see the wear is a little more consistent the further down we go. But still totally within tolerance. Let's see. Yeah, the maintenance schedule for this machine is very different for when it's used on the track, but there's a difference between racing and the kind of riding I do on the track. For example, at least half of the days I did last year, I was working with complete novices, completely new track riders. So a couple of times I took this and then parked it and used the supermoto for the rest of the, or for the second session on, just to avoid racking up too many miles when I'm just casually following someone offering input through the communicator. 2.4, 2.4. Yes, there's actually going to be some very interesting news later about riding at Coda. We'll be there again this year. But some very interesting sponsor news on that front will be forthcoming. Four two, 4.3, 4.3. Much more consistent wear now that we're down this deep. 3.8, 4.1, 4.4, 4.0, I mean, 4.039, 3.839. And that's it. So this one goes there. This one was Belleville washer, serrated Belleville washer. The curved up side goes out. And that's about it. I mean, we've got that slipper plate can't come out, and it's not worn terribly much. And if you bought the DP, the Ducati Performance accessory clutch kit, which this is, then that's all there is to it. We, at least once the basket is in, but 2, 4, 6, 8, these 8 bolts go into the gear that's underneath the seal, and provided you position this cover here accurately, then there's no reason for that seal not to last for the life of the bike. But if you position this cover off to one side slightly and not accurately enough, then the seal will suffer and will have a limited lifespan, because you've literally got the gear here and the seal here, but without aligning it properly, they're going to be off slightly. So that's why it's important to have that alignment tool to press in here before you tighten these bolts up. Okay, so I'm not seeing much damage on the inside of here. On the old V-twins, the accessory and the stock clutches would, these teeth here would chew up these ridges in the basket, and you can see a little bit of damage, but it is very minor. I mean, I can barely feel it. So it's clean, it's just fine, no reason for any concern. And that's of course the transmission input gear. And okay, I don't think you'll be able to see that number. But that one goes over the bearing. And then the slipper hub goes on next. And then the Belleville with the, you can't quite see it, but the inner surface is higher, so this is like that on this side. So if you compress it, it will squish down like that. And then it's a simple matter of reinstalling everything backwards. So of course the first plate is the slipper ramp. And you know what? Let's do this. Let's put these plates that have less wear on the inside, and this is the 2mm plate. This goes on last, so we'll leave that out. Again, sharp edge, smooth or rounded edge. So this wear pattern is much more spotty. Well, interesting. It looks like the plates that had the least wear were in the inside. Yeah, so let's do this. Yeah, see, look at that spotty. So I'm going to put the plates with the least wear on the back and the front, and the ones with the most wear in the middle. Yeah, that's a lot of wear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do this. very spotty. Yeah, look at all that spotty wear. Okay, so that one will get the more wear in that position. And sharp edge. And there's the notch. Spotty, spotty. More spotty. Okay, now we're getting more consistent wear. Yep, more consistent. Nice. Getting spotty again. And very spotty. Okay. And last one. Followed by okay, so no problems on this. Everything looks good. There's the dot, although, again, what importance that plays, I'm not sure. Let's put that right there, just for giggles. And then the bearing, and the nut. And I'm not going to use that because I can't get enough torque on this with that. So we will actually be using the big impact for that. I've got, let's see, I've got this one, but I've also got this one. And yes, I should be using a proper impact socket, but I don't have the right size in an impact that will fit, because this ridge right here is too thin for the average impact socket to get in there. So I have to use these conventional sockets. Okay, everything looks good. I will put a little bit of WD-40 on those screws. just so they don't seize. And then we are done. And just to be perfectly pedantic, I will tighten this in the star pattern. And yes, that's about 10, between 5 and 10 pound-feet. My other hobby is cooking, but I'm not quite as adept at estimating measurements in that field, but I perfected my fried chicken recipe recently. Yes, fried chicken. I can make it so that it tastes even better than that guy from Kentucky. And I learned from watching some YouTube videos of chefs who were able to just shake out the right amount of ingredients from a container instead of having to use anything to measure those ingredients. And I get people say to me, what, you're not going to put a torque wrench on that? I don't need to. I know exactly what 7.5 foot-pounds feels like. And that's it. Alright, let's see. I can't quite reach the lever. Or can I? Yes, I can. Okay, feels good. Okay, so we've got new brakes. Clutch is carefully inspected. New fairing. Fasteners. New throttle. I'm very interested to see how this will feel. And I will just bolt down the battery. Put the cover back on. Put the lower back. Actually, I can do that now. If you watched all the way through to this point, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope I'm able to help some people to learn how to do this work themselves based on my experience of learning how to be a mechanic since I was about this big and started working on tractors and trucks and old cars. Okay, anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.